यस्मिनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीता समारोपितवामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। उद्भवस्थितिसंहार कारिणीं क्लेशहारिणीं सर्वश्रेयसकरीं सीतां नतोऽहं रामवल्लभाम्। Okay. So, last class, where did we leave off? What happened?
Forest.
They left Ayodhyā. They left Ayodhyā. Not only Sita ji and Ram ji and Lakshman ji, but everybody left. Everybody left. And then when they were asleep, then Śrī Rāma, Sita ji, Lakshman ji, they told Sumantra to take them deep into the forest. Now, they're in the forest and they met Guha. They met someone by the name of Guha, and he's from the Nishada tribe. And Guha is very happy to see Śrī Rāma, but also sad because of the circumstances. And he even tells Śrī Rāma that you are here in the forest, now you take all of my belongings, you take my kingdom, you take everything that I have, and I am your servant. But Śrī Rāma says, I have come here to live as an ascetic. So I cannot take anything from you. And here, Bharatji and, not Bharatji, Lakshmanji and Ramji, they take their hair and they mat it. They mat it like this to have that whole ascetic look. And they cross the river. And I'm sure you know the story of Kevat. Kevat Prasanga, where Kevatji takes them on the boat and they finally cross the river and they settle in this place called Chitrakuta. Now, what happens? Śrī Rāma, Sita ji, Lakshman ji settle in Chitrakuta, but for now we will go back to Ayodhyā. Move back to Ayodhyā. Sumantra very, very sadly goes back to Ayodhyā. And in Ramayana, it is said that the horses didn't even want to leave. The horses were crying. They didn't even want to leave. They didn't want to go back to Ayodhyā. He goes back to Ayodhyā and he tells King Dasharatha what happened. He says they did not want to come back. They are now in the forest. They have matted their hair and they are living there. And Dasharatha Maharaj is crying and crying because he has lost his very life. And saying Rama, Rama, Dasharatha Maharaj dies. He leaves his body. And the whole Ayodhya is plunged into sorrow. First, they lost Ramji, Sitaji, Lakshmanji. Now they lost King Dasharatha. And Vasishtha Guru says, go and summon Bharata and Shatrughna right away. Bharata and Shatrughna were in their maternal uncle's home. So Vasishtha Rishi says, don't tell them what happened. Just go and summon them. Tell them to come home. And Bharata, he left that place and right away he and Shatrughna came. And as they were coming to Ayodhya, they felt like the omens are very strange. People are very sad. They're plunged into sorrow. what's happening? And as soon as Bharata enters, Kaikeyi is standing there with an arti thali. She says, welcome my son, as if nothing happened. She says, welcome my son, and she does arti to her son. He says, mother, where is my father? Where is Rama, Lakṣmaṇa, Sita? Where is everybody? The place looks so desolate. What happened? And she tells him, Bharat, your father has died. And he is just heartbroken. He said, what do you mean my father has died? And she said, I have secured everything for you. I have asked for you to be the king and for Rama to be sent in the forest in exile for 14 years. And Sita and Lakṣmaṇa went with him. Bharata was heartbroken. He didn't know what to do. First, he went and he performed his dharma. He did the final rites of his father, King Dasharatha. Then he understood the story and he was so upset at Manthara. And Shatrugna also was so upset at Manthara. How in the world could she do this? And after all the final rites were completed, the next day they all met in an assembly. And Guru Vasishtha was there. Kausalya Devi was there. And they told Bharata, now see Bharata, Śrī Rāma upheld his part of the deal. Your father had to give Kaikeyi 2 boons. One is that Bharata has to be king. 2, Śrī Rāma has to be in the forest for 14 years. Śrī Rāma left. But now you have to be king. You have to ascend to the throne. And Bharata said, I am not going to be king. He said, I respect all of you. All of you gathered here today who are my elders. I respect my mother so much. And I respect my father's word. But I cannot be king. And he said, please forgive me, but I want to request everybody something. Let us go to Chitrakoot. Let us go to Rama and let's bring him back. He is the rightful heir to the throne. Let's go. And everybody, for the first time, after a long time in Ayodhya, they smiled. They said, we don't know who is greater, Bharata or Śrī Rāma. And Bharata and Shatrugna led everybody. Everybody wanted to go to Chitrakoot. Nobody wanted to stay in Ayodhya. They said, we're all coming to Chitrakoot. No one wanted to stay home. Bharata made sure that everything was safe in Ayodhya and he left. Now first he and Shatrugna were walking because he said, if my brothers walked, what right do I have to go into a chariot, to be carried? They're walking now in the forest. But when they were walking, everybody started walking. So Kausalya Devi said, no, you climb up the chariot because not everybody can walk so far. So they climbed up the chariot. And they climbed up the chariot. And they went to the forest and they met Guha. They met Guha. And this Guha had told them that, Śrī Rāma is there in Chitrakoot. And Bharata said, please show me where Śrī Rāma slept, where he sat, where he stood. And this Guha was showing him where Śrī Rāma slept and Sita ji slept. And Bharata was crying. He said, how could my brother and my sister, how could they have slept like this? And he went, and that place where they slept, he did pradakshina on that place. He said, I cannot believe that my brother had to go through this. And my brother Lakṣmaṇa also, he had to sleep in this. He lay down, he wouldn't even sleep a wink. Guha said, Lakṣmaṇji doesn't sleep. And Lakṣmaṇji didn't even sleep. He stayed watching all night. And Bharataji's heart was really broken. And slowly, they were making their way to Chitrakoot. And everybody came. All the mothers came, even Kaikai. Now in Chitrakoot, Sita ji said, I had a dream that Bharata was coming, but our mothers were not dressed in their, ornaments and everything like that. They were wearing very plain clothing. I don't know what's happening, but I have a feeling something wrong is happening. And then Lakshman ji spots Bharata from far, because he's the guard. He spots Bharata. And he says, this Bharata is coming to conquer the whole forest. He's coming to fight. And Śrī Rāma says, no, I know my Bharata. He's not like that. He doesn't have one mean bone in his body. So don't think of him like that. And as Bharata is coming, slowly coming, he cannot help but he falls down. He falls down because his heart is so heavy that imagine, he didn't even know any of this. He was in his maternal, uncle's home. He didn't know any of this. And all of a sudden, when he comes home, he finds out that his father is dead, his brother and his sister are sent into the forest for exile. He felt like, why is he even born? This is the feeling he had. He fell down. And when he fell down, Śrī Rāma saw and ran to him and picked him up. And he held his brother so tightly. And Bharata cried. And then Bharata did namaskar to Sita ji. She blessed him. And after that, he knew that Śrī Rāma knew he was innocent. Because all the time he felt like, what if they thought I plotted anything? And then he knew after Sita ji blessed him, Ramaji blessed him, that they know who I am. And they all hugged each other. And Bharata said, now our Guru is here. So Śrī Rāma greeted the Guru Vasishta. And the mothers are also there. Now who is the first mother that Śrī Rāma greeted? Kaikai. The first person he did namaskar to is Kaikai. Because he felt that she was in deep regret. And he told everybody, Kaikai is not to blame. Don't you dare blame Kaikai. It is the destiny that takes on a toll in everybody. Don't think that the one who brings you the karma is the one to blame for the karma. The immediate cause is not the ultimate cause. Immediate cause is not the ultimate cause. When Sita ji saw Kaikai, Kausalya, Sumitra Devi, she served them all equally. When you don't like somebody, you'll give them a little less. You'll give some few people more, this person you'll give less. You don't like that person. But Sita ji served all of them equally because even she had that forgiveness. This is what we have to learn, the power of forgiveness. See, when something bad happens to us, somebody brings bad news to us, somebody says something bad to us, somebody does something bad to us. What is that? They are only the delivery person. They're only UPS or FedEx or DHL. They are just delivering our karma that's due to us. So do not blame them. Kaikai, though you feel she's the immediate cause, she's not the ultimate cause. The ultimate cause is that Śrī Rāma has to come and defeat Rāvaṇa. That is the ultimate cause. But Kaikai is used as what we call as a nimitta. It has come through her. And it is even said in one of the Ramayanas, that Kaikai and Śrī Rāma have a conversation. And Śrī Rāma says, Mother, I need you to do something for me. I will have to be born in Ayodhyā, and I will need someone to send me to the forest. Will you do it for me? If you do it, people will look down upon you and they will hate you. Will you do it for me? And Kaikai says, for you I will do anything. It doesn't matter. I will do anything. And that is why Kaikai, we think she's to blame, we think she's evil. She accepts that role. And she says, I will be the nimitta. I will do it so that you get exiled to the forest. And nobody knows this except Śrī Rāma and her. So don't ever think that the one who's causing us harm is the one to be blamed. Whatever we're going through is our own karma. We have to face it anyway. It will come to us no matter what. So accept it. Accept it. And see here now we have this notion of replay. You know, when something bad happens, what do? We replay, we rewind, we put it on loop again like a song. You put it on loop again and again and again, and you keep putting it through your mind. Now, when forgiveness happens, they say forgive and forget. But can we really forget? This forgetting, what this forget means is forget the pain. Remember the lesson. Be alert about the lesson, but forget the pain. Forget the pain, because if you and I carry the pain, it's not going to do us any good. It's going to harm us. It's going to create toxins in our physical and mental health. So forget that pain, let it go. Remember the lesson and be alert about it. Know that I should not do this again, or I should not go here again, or maybe I should not associate with this kind of person again. So in this way, Śrī Rāma forgave Kaikai, and Sītā also forgave Kaikai. Not once did she have a negative glance on her mother-in-law, not once. Now, they're all in Chitrakoot. And when Bharata had come, he had come to bring Rama back. And he had planned to bring Padukas, and he had brought waters for coronation to do the Abhisheka in Chitrakoot itself. Because Bharata's thinking was, let us bring Śrī Rāma back as a king. And when they were there, they all had an assembly. Now, how to talk to Śrī Rāma? How to talk to Śrī Rāma? And they were thinking of what to tell him. So Bharata said, "Oh Guru Vasishta, you please tell us, what should we do?" So Guru Vasishta said, "Why don't you send Śrī Rāma, Sītā ji and Lakṣmaṇa ji back to Ayodhyā, and you and Shatrughna stay in the forest? Why don't you do that? Or why don't you send Lakṣmaṇa ji back and you stay with Śrī Rāma in the forest?" Like that. They were thinking of different means, different ways. And as they were debating, Janak Maharaj comes. Janak Maharaj hears about it, and he comes to Chitrakoot, and he meets everybody, and he and Sunaina Devi, they meet Sītā ji. And when they meet Sītā ji, Janak Maharaj looks at his daughter and he says, "You are Duhita." Duhita means you are the one who brings welfare to both families. He says, "I am so proud of you that you have really raised the value, the glory of our family. How you have stood by your husband in dharma. There's nobody like you, Sītā ji." And he stays with his daughter, spends some time with his daughter, and the mother also stays with her daughter. Then they ask King Janaka for counsel. What should we do? What should we do? And they all are lost in Bharata's love. Bharata says, "Look, we should ask Śrī Rāma to be king. We should ask him." So the next day, they're all meeting in Chitrakoot. Now, how to tell Śrī Rāma that we want you to be king? Bharata ji looks at Śrī Rāma and he says, "How can I tell him?" He says, "Śrī Rāma, I am only your servant. You are my master. How can I tell you what to do? How can the servant tell the master what to do? I am only your servant. You please tell me what to do." Śrī Rāma says, "Look, in our dynasty, we always have to uphold the word. I will not leave my father's word. He said I have to be in exile for 14 years. I will be in exile for 14 years. You rule the kingdom. Bharataji said, I don't want to rule it. I cannot be on the throne. I can manage it, but I cannot be on the throne. Śrī Rāma said, you have the Guru's grace, you have everything with you, you will do a great job. He says, no, I cannot. You please give me a token so that the kingdom can be ruled. And that's when the Padukas were brought in, and Śrī Rāma hands Bharata the Padukas and says, you take this Padukas, and you rule the kingdom with the Padukas. And what do the Padukas symbolize? Rama, Sita, Rama. To Bharatji, they were Sita ji and Rama ji. Each of the Padukas was there. And when he went back, as he was going back, he took the Padukas on his head, because he said the one on the throne will always be Śrī Rāma. And he told Śrī Rāma, I will only wait 14 years, not one day more. If you come one day after, I will lose my life. I will give up my life. So don't make me wait. And all of the waters that were brought for the coronation of Śrī Rāma, they were put into a well. And that well is known as Bharata Kupa. And today in Chitrakoot it's also there. So Bharata very sadly goes back. All the Ayodhyā Vasis, very sadly they go back to Ayodhya without Śrī Rāma. And they feel that they're not going to see him. As Bharata goes back, what he does is he installs the Padukas on the throne. And he says, this is what's going to rule Ayodhya. And where does Bharata stay? He says, I'm not going to stay in the palace. I'm going to stay in Nandigram. So a little bit away from the palace. If my brother and my sister are staying on the ground, I will dig under the ground and I will stay there. If my brothers and my sister are in the garbs of ascetics and living like ascetics, I will also live like an ascetic. He put the garb of an ascetic. If they are also eating simple food, I am also going to eat simple food. I am going to practice austerity. For 14 years, Bharataji lived in Nandigram. That's where he lived. And every day he would go to the palace, and you know what he would do? He would talk to the Padukas. He would sit in front of the Padukas, and whenever he had questions, whenever he needed to know what to do, he would sit in front of the Padukas and he would talk to the Padukas, and he would feel the Padukas answer his questions. You know, it's like when we have an altar of Bhagavan, we sit in front of Bhagavan, we speak in front of Bhagavan. Bhagavan replies. Bhagavan replies in silence. Don't ever think that Bhagavan doesn't reply. But Bhagavan replies in silence. The same way, Bharataji used to speak to the Padukas. And this is how he ruled in Ayodhya. Now, Śrī Rāma, Sītā ji, Lakṣmaṇa ji, they stayed in Chitrakuta for about 10 years. And people were beginning to know that, hey, they're living now in Chitrakuta, so many people were coming. Śrī Rāma said, now it's time we move away from here. And so they left the place and they proceeded to the Dandaka forest. Now as they go to the Dandaka forest, here a conversation happens. This is now based on Valmiki Ramayana. Conversation happens between Sita ji and Bhagavan Rama. And what does Sita ji say? She says, now we are here as ascetics, as hermits, and now we are going deep into the forest. Maybe you should leave your bow and your arrow. she tells Śrī Rāma. Because there are three things that lead to adharma, she tells him. The first one is false speech. When people lie, leads to adharma. Second thing is being with another person's wife. It leads to adharma. And the third one is cruelty without enmity. Being cruel to somebody without any, provocation on the other side. She says, Śrī Rāma, you will never ever utter a false word. And you will never ever be with another person's wife. But the third one, if people don't harm you, will you harm them? Because you have a bow and an arrow. And she tells him a story. That once there was an ascetic. And he was doing such great tapasya that Indra Devata got jealous of him. So Indra Devata came disguised as a soldier and gave him a sword. This ascetic, a sword to keep. Let you keep the sword. So the ascetic was safeguarding the sword and he used to go about his daily routine. But before you know it, because he was safeguarding the sword, he would take the sword with him. And instead of, he used to pluck fruits and roots, he would use the sword. He would use the sword. And he used the sword on anything and everything. And he became cruel just by association with a weapon. So she tells Śrī Rāma, I'm afraid that this will happen. And Śrī Rāma says, you are very good to advise me because you are dharmacharini. And that is really good advice. But please also know that I have given my word to protect the sadhus in this forest. Therefore, I will keep my bow and arrow, but I will not harm anybody just like that. I won't cross dharma. I won't cross dharma, but I will keep my bow and arrow because I've given my word. Now see here, both of them brought beautiful points. And beautiful point from Sita ji is that when we're associated with a tool or a weapon, just by association, it can corrupt us. We all know this, Just on association, and now we don't need a sword, right? Just an association with a phone. You just keep it near you. What happens? So many things happen. You and I know. But if that person is like Śrī Rāma, who has absolute control, then it doesn't matter what's around here. But if the person is like us, then we have to be very careful of what's around us. Potato chips are around, what will happen? Once you pop, you can't stop. Right? So therefore, both of them bring out these excellent points. Now, what happens there? They go to Panchavati. They end up now in Panchavati. Now you know what happens in Panchavati. In Panchavati, they're there and first they come across Shurpanakha. Shurpanakha. Her nails are like winnowing fans. Very, very long nails. Shurpanakha. And she sees Sita ji, Ramji, Lakshmaṇji, very handsome young Ramji, Lakshmaṇji, very handsome. So she's, she looks like a rākṣasa only, but she changes her form to be very, very beautiful. And she approaches Śrī Rāma. And she says, would you like to be with me? Why don't we come together? Why don't we get married? She's very direct. She approaches Śrī Rāma and Śrī Rāma says, please, I have a wife. I'm off limits. You talk to my brother. And Lakshmaṇji said, please, I am a sevak of my brother. We're off limits. And she kept persisting. And Śrī Rāma and Lakṣmaṇa, why they kept having her go back and forth is because they wanted to see her true colors. They wanted to see who she really was. And finally, she got very upset because nobody was giving in to her. and she turned into her demonic form. And they understood that she's Shurpanakha. And she tried to harm Sita ji. So Ramji and Lakshmanji, Ramji looked at Lakshmanji and Lakshmanji cut off her nose and her ears. Now what is this? Why nose and the ears? See here, every sense organ is associated with an element. You know, there's 5 elements and there's 5 sense organs. So space is associated with the ears, hearing. Air is associated with touch. Fire is associated with sight. Water is associated with taste. And earth is associated with smell. So from the subtlest is the ear, to the grossest, the nose. This is space, this is earth. So it is cutting off sensuality. This is a deeper significance. Why not the eyes? Why not the this? Why not the that? It is cutting off sensuality. When we are sensuous, we cannot go within. There's no way that we can go within. So Lakshmanji cut that off right away. Now Shurpanakha, right away she went to her brothers, Khara and Dushana. She told her brothers what happened. And her brothers, they had some huge army, like some 14,000 people army, huge army. And they challenged Śrī Rāma. And you know, when they were challenging Śrī Rāma, they said, hey, he's so handsome, how can we challenge him? But we have no choice because he harmed our sister, so we have to challenge him. So they challenged Śrī Rāma and he, of course, defeated him. Meanwhile, what Shurpanakha does is, she goes to Ravana. She says, what kind of king are you? You don't know what's going on around? And he says, what happened to you? And she said, what happened to me are these brothers, Śrī Rāma and Lakṣmaṇa. I saw them there and they had the most beautiful lady with them. Because she knows Ravana's weakness. And Shurpanakha twisted the story. She said, I wanted that lady to be for you, Ravana, but this is what they did to me. They cut off my nose, my ears, they challenged Khara and Dushana, they defeated them, they did all of these things. Aren't you going to do anything, Ravana? So Ravana said, we'll plan something. As soon as he heard about how beautiful Sita ji was, he felt that he wanted to have Sita ji, to be with Sita ji. So Ravana said, I'll plan. He goes to Maricha. And who is Maricha? Maricha is a shapeshifter. They have a shapeshifter, they can change forms and everything like that. So he tells this Maricha, we have to take Sita ji. We have to plot and we have to take Sita ji now. And Maricha says, why? He says, no. Look at what they did to Shurpanakha. And I want Sita ji for myself. And Maricha is afraid of Śrī Rāma because last time, remember, Śrī Rāma, they threw him all the way, so many miles away. Śrī Rāma threw him. He says, I'm afraid of Śrī Rāma. I don't want to come near. But Maricha said, here is my dilemma. If I do not follow Ravana, Ravana will kill me. If I follow Ravana and I deceive Śrī Rāma, then Śrī Rāma will kill me. Who's better? If Ravana kills me or Śrī Rāma kills me? Śrī Rāma. So therefore, I'll play my part. So Ravana tells him, you take the form of a deer, a golden deer. And you entice Sita ji. When you entice Sita ji, she'll tell Śrī Rāma to hunt for that deer. And Lakshman ji will also hunt for that deer. Then I will take her. This is the plan. So Maricha says, okay. Now what happens? Śrī Rāma, Sita ji and Lakshman ji are there. Now this comes in Tulsi Ramayana. And I think it also Adhyatma Ramayana, that when Lakshmanji is out there, he's taking some bulbs and roots and everything. Ramji tells Sita ji, now we have to play a Leela. We have to play a Leela because Ravana has to be defeated. So you must enter the fire. You must enter the fire. The real Sita must enter the fire because you are earth element. You can stay there. You are born for it. And Maya Sita will come out. Maya Sita, sometimes they call it Chaya Sita, illusory Sita will come out. She will be the one taken by Ravana because we have to play this Leela. We have to play this Leela because Ravana has to be defeated. And this conversation happened between Sita ji and Ramji. So the real Sita ji has gone into the fire and this Maya Sita has come out and Śrī Rāma is with the Maya Sita. Then what happens? They're there in Panchavati and one day a glistening golden deer comes and that Sita ji is enthralled by that deer. Now remember who is Sita ji? That Maya Sita ji who's teaching us a lesson. Both Sita ji and Ram ji are teaching us a lesson. She's enthralled by that deer. And when she's enthralled by that deer, she tells Śrī Rāma, I want that deer, I want that deer, bring that deer to me. She lost sight of her dear Rama and she went to the deer. So Śrī Rāma goes and he goes to get the deer. Now, while he goes to get the deer, this Marich, you know how this Marich is a shapeshifter. So he can take any form, he can impersonate any voice. And he impersonates the voice of Rama and says, Lakshman, Sita, like that. So Sita ji gets alerted and she tells Lakshmanji, you please go. You please go. Lakshmanji says, who are you talking about? This is Śrī Rāma, nothing will happen. She says, no, you please go. And she speaks some harsh words to Lakshmanji. And Lakshmanji has no choice, but he leaves. He leaves. And at that time he leaves, Ravana comes as a sannyasi. And you know, in some versions, Lakshmanji had drawn the line. Tulsidashi hints at it, that there was some kind of boundary. And Ravana comes as a sannyasi. He begs for diksha. Now Ravana could not cross the line. He could not. But he begs. So Sita ji thinks he's a sannyasi. So she goes out. And when she goes out, Ravana takes his real form and he takes Sita ji away. Now we have to ponder on this for a moment here. This deer story is very important for us as jivas. You know the ladder of fall in Bhagavad Gita. This is exactly what happens. Da, 4 das. Okay. First is dwelling on an object. So here, instead of dwelling on the subject, you're dwelling on the object. Instead of dwelling on Śrī Rāma, we're dwelling on Vishaya. So instead of dwelling on the subject, we dwell on the object. When we dwell on the object, what's the next thing that comes? Attachment. So DA, attachment. Attachment means here the notion that there's happiness in the object. The notion that this deer will make me happy. It will make me happy. Then what arises after that? The next D is desire. I want that deer. Because I have the notion it will make me happy, I want that deer. And if anybody prevents me from that, getting that deer, the next A is anger. I get angry. If anybody prevents us from our desire, we get angry. Then, after anger, the next D is delusion. We lose the sense of right and wrong. So there, Sita ji got mad at Lakshman ji. And then her thinking became topsy-turvy. Her thinking became topsy-turvy that Rama is in danger. How could Śrī Rāma be in danger? Then after that delusion, the next A is amnesia. Amnesia means she forgets who Śrī Rāma is. She forgets Lakshmanji, who Lakshmanji is. She forgets everything. She forgets her prior knowledge. Amnesia. Then the next D is destruction of intellect. Destruction of intellect. The intellect, it doesn't know what's right, what's wrong. It just says whatever it says. It does whatever it does. It just goes on and on and on and on a rampage. And the last A is annihilation. Destruction. Then she gets taken away by Rāvaṇa. So this, we should not think that this is Sita ji. This is her teaching us a lesson. That the minute that we focus on the object, we will fall. But when we focus on the subject, we will always rise. We will always rise. Because the exact opposite, what happens with the object, happens with the subject. When we focus on the subject, when we dwell on the subject, then what happens is we become detached, not attached. And when we're detached, what happens? We are free from desire. We are free from anger. We are free from delusion. We are free from all of that, and we will never perish. So, Sita ji gets taken. And here we must also see Rāvaṇa has respect for sannyasis. Because he did not take Sita ji as a sannyasi. Because he has that respect. So he took his Rāvaṇa form and then took Sita ji, because he that much at least he has. That's nobody should ever bring down the garb of a sannyasi. That much respect he has. Because remember, Rāvaṇa was very learned, but he had these weaknesses. What can we do? So Sita ji was taken. She was taken by Rāvaṇa, but what happened? Who came in between? Jatayu. Jatayu, the vulture, came in between. And how Jatayu was so selfless. He knew he was weak, he knew he was getting old, but he came in between and he wanted to intercept. He wanted to try and hold and delay as far as possible. He knew Rāvaṇa was going to kill him. He knew he couldn't beat Rāvaṇa. But he said, let me delay this as far as possible, so at least maybe Śrī Rāma can come, Lakshmanji can come, let me do whatever I can to prevent all of this. And so he did the best that he could. But still Rāvaṇa was very strong, and Rāvaṇa defeated Jatayu. But now you see here, in that whole time, Sita ji was able to think, and she dropped her ornaments. Okay? She dropped her ornaments, and Jatayu, even though he was feeling very weak, he did not give up his life. Why? He was waiting for Śrī Rāma. Meanwhile, Śrī Rāma and Lakshmanji came back. They didn't see Sita ji anywhere. They were looking, and now Śrī Rāma plays the leela of a man. He's crying. Now, he is the God of the universe. He's crying. He's crying. Where is Sita? Where is Sita? Where is Sita? Then he finds Jatayu. And Jatayu says, I'm just holding my breath so I can tell you this. That Sita ji has been taken by Rāvaṇa. They have gone in the direction of the south. And I tried to stop, but I couldn't. And Śrī Rāma understands. He understands. And he tells Jatayu, I can extend your life. I can make you live again. I can revive everything. Jatayu says, why? If the whole world, the purpose of life is just to have your darshana. And right now I had your darshana. Why should I live? I have no purpose to live. My purpose of life is over. And Śrī Rāma does the last rites of Jatayu. Last rites of Jatayu. You know, Śrī Rāma couldn't even do the last rites of his own father. Not even Dashrath Maharaj had that privilege, but Jatayu did. And Jatayu passed. Now, what happens is, Śrī Rāma is very distraught. He doesn't know what to do, he doesn't know where to look, where to go. And something inside him tells him that he has to visit now this hermitage. He has to meet certain people to understand how to get Sita ji back. He knows Sita ji has gone to Ravana, but how to get her back, how to plan that, he knows he has to meet several people. The first person he meets is who? Shabari Devī. Now, Shabari is a tribal woman. And you know the story of Shabari. She stays in Matanga Rishi's ashrama. And Matanga Rishi only told Shabari Devī that you will meet Rama. He told Shabari because she was very, very pious that she would sweep the ashrama every day. And he told her, you will meet Rama. You just keep the faith, keep your devotion, keep your mind in Rama. You will meet Rama. She doesn't even know who Rama is, what Rama is like, nothing. But every day she kept sweeping, she kept plucking fruits, she kept doing everything as though she's going to meet Rama. When she's going to meet Rama, she doesn't know. And that very day, Śrī Rāma comes. And Shabari feels so blessed that my God, Śrī Rāma has come to meet me. He's come to meet me. And she sits him down and she brings the berries. And you know the story, yeah? Some people say that she tasted it to see if it's sweet and then she feeds him the berries. She feeds Śrī Rāma the berries. And she tells Śrī Rāma, I don't know how to praise you. I'm just regular, I'm just a tribal woman. I've just been sweeping the floor. I don't know how to praise you. I don't know what to say. I don't know anything. And he tells Shabari Devī, you don't praise me. I will praise you. You are Bhamini. You are brilliant. You are beautiful. You are intelligent. And let me tell you, O Shabari Devī, there are 9 forms of devotion and you have all of them. So, Śrī Rāma praises Shabari. It's one thing if Bhakta praises Bhagavan. We all praise Bhagavan. But when Bhagavan praises Bhakta, that's really something. So what are the 9 forms of devotion? He says, number 1 is Satsanga. Number 2 is Ramanam, reveling in the stories of Bhagavan. Number 3 is Guru Seva. Number 4 is Kirtanam. Number 5 is Japa. Number 6 is Brahmacharya. Number 7 is Ishvara Darshana, seeing the Lord everywhere. Number 8 is Santosha, contentment, being content with what we receive. And number 9 is Shraddha. He tells Shabari Devī, you have all of it. Now from Shabari Devī we have to learn especially Shraddha. See here, how many of us have Shraddha in our sadhana? We take up some sadhana, japa, oh it's not working. 2 days I try, it's not working. 2 days. I tried this certain sadhana of meditation. I tried it for 1 week, it's not working. Shraddha has to be there in her sadhana. Shabari held her sadhana with absolute faith that the Guru said, if the Guru said, if I keep doing this, I will see Rama, that means I will see Rama. That's how much we should hold on to our sadhana. That if I keep holding on, it will yield fruit. I will see Bhagavan. I will see Bhagavan within me, in front of me, in others. I will see Bhagavan. So that Shraddha is Shabari. And after she has darshan of Śrī Rāma, she tells Śrī Rāma, you must go to Pampa and look for Sugriva. He will help you. He will help you find Sita Ji. And she also tells Śrī Rāma, after seeing you, the purpose of my life is over. Meaning the purpose of life is Bhagavan's darshan. She uses her yoga agni. She's a yogini. So she invokes fire and she lets go of her body. Now see here, we have to also think a little bit about Ravana and Jatayu. Who succeeded and who failed? Ravana set on a mission to take Sita Devī. Did he succeed or did he fail? Succeeded, you think, right? Jatayu set out on a mission to prevent Ravana from taking Sita Devī. Did he succeed or did he fail? You think he failed, right? But really, who succeeded? Who had Bhagavan's darshan? Jatayu. So success is not whether we complete a task or not. Success means, did I have Bhagavan's darshan? Sometimes in failure also, we have Bhagavan's darshan. So that means that failure is success. Because sometimes when we fail miserably, we become so close to Bhagavan that we have darshan of Bhagavan. So is that failure really a failure or is it success? So here with Ravana and Jatayu, we have to see the true meaning of each. Now, Śrī Rāma and Lakṣmaṇji, they go to Pampa and they go to Rishyamukh Parvat to see Sugriva. And when they go to Rishyamukh Parvat, who is there? Hanumanji. Sugriva is very scared. Why? Because Sugriva is running from Vali. You all know the story of Vali and Sugriva, right? So I'm not going to repeat that story because you know that story already. That Sugriva has always been afraid of his brother Vali. Because Vali thought that Sugriva usurped his kingdom. He thought that Sugriva did that. Actually, no. Sugriva thought that Vali was already dead. And Vali kept running after Sugriva everywhere, but the only place where Vali cannot go because Vali is cursed is at Rishyamukh mountain. So that's where Sugriva hides. But if anybody comes, Sugriva shakes because he feels like Vali is sending somebody. So the same way, when Śrī Rāma and Lakṣmaṇji were coming, Sugriva felt like, what if these are Vali's people? So he said, Hanuman, go see who is that. And Hanuman goes in disguise of a Brahmana and tries to find out who is that. And he tells Śrī Rāma and Lakṣmaṇji, who are you? Are you Narayana? You are so beautiful. You must be God. You must be divine. Who are you? I've never seen anybody like you. And they said, we are the sons of King Dashrata. And then Hanumanji reveals who he is. He takes away his disguise and he shows his true colors. And then Śrī Rāma hugs Hanumanji. Then only Śrī Rāma hugs Hanumanji. Before that he doesn't hug. And Hanumanji says, now you all, how much have you been walking in the forest? Your feet must be so painful. Come on my shoulders and I'll take you to Sugriva. So he takes them on the shoulders, he takes them to Sugriva. Now, in this episode, we must see what is called Mitra Dharma. Here, Mitra Dharma means the dharma of a friend. Sugriva and Śrī Rāma make a pact of friendship. And he instructs Sugriva on what is a friend. See, both of them have the same situation. Both have been exiled or not. Sugriva is exiled, Śrī Rāma is exiled. Both of them have been separated from their wives. Sugriva's wife was taken by Vali. Śrī Rāma's wife was taken by Rāvaṇa. Both of them have similar problems. But a friend is one who sees their own problems like a sand. Their problems may be like mountains. But they will see their problems like sand and their friends' problems like mountains. You know, sometimes when we are with our friends and we are talking and your friend tells you, you know, I have this issue, I'm going through this and it's very disturbing, it's very disruptive, I don't know what to do. Then sometimes you say, that's nothing, you know what I'm going through this and this and this and this, you're not going through anything. Sometimes we do that with our friends. That's not what true friends are. True friends will see their mountain-like problems as sad and will see their friends' problems as a mountain. And this is how Śrī Rāma saw Sugriva's problems, as if he's not suffering. But he said, Sugriva, I understand your problem. I understand you have a problem with Vali and I will help you. And he also tells Sugriva the formula for friendship. What is that? It's called Tala. Tlah. Tala. Who is a true friend? The T is, a true friend is the one who takes us away from adharma. A friend will always take us away from adharma. L is someone who will always lead us on the path of dharma. So they'll take us away from adharma, they'll lead us on the path of dharma. And A is, a friend is someone who always admires our good qualities. They're a friend. They want us to rise. They want us to be good. They want us to excel. And H means a friend is honest about our shortcomings. If there's something we're doing wrong, the friend will tell us, you know, hey, I don't think this is right. Not to put us down, but to help us become better. These are the qualities of friendship. In this Mitra Dharma, Śrī Rāma explains to Sugriva. And then, of course, you know that Śrī Rāma helps Sugriva vanquish Vali. Right? You know, there was a fight, right? The first fight, Śrī Rāma says, okay, you call Vali and I will help you. But what happened? Śrī Rāma couldn't tell who's Sugriva, who's Vali. They both look alike. So in the second fight, then Śrī Rāma says, Sugriva, you wear a garland. You wear a garland and I will help. And in the second fight is when Śrī Rāma goes there. And Vali is very strong because whoever faces Vali from the front, Vali takes half of their strength. So Śrī Rāma shoots Vali from behind. Shoots Vali from behind. And so many people have questions, why did he shoot from behind? Why did he shoot from behind? Vali is lying there. Yeah? He's about to die. And he says, why did you do that? Śrī Rāma says, listen Vali, you have performed a lot of adharma. He says, that this line is in Ramayana, whoever transgresses dharma against his daughter, sister or brother's wife out of lust should be defeated. You cannot think twice about that. It doesn't matter you're shooting from the front, from behind, from the side, you shoot the guy. Because they cannot transgress this kind of dharma. And Vali says, you know, Śrī Rāma, I am blessed. I am blessed because I am dying with a darshan of your sight. Śrī Rāma says, Vali, Vali was repenting for his actions. Śrī Rāma says, if you want, I can extend your life. Vali says, no. You take my son Angada in your service. And as far as my life, I have nothing more to live for because I've had your darshan. Remember I told you the purpose of life is Bhagavan's darshan. Let me go. And let me leave this abode seeing you. And therefore, Vali dies. Sugriva becomes king, and Angada helps in Sugriva's reign. And now they're all set to go find Sītā Devī. Sugriva shows the ornaments of Sītā Devī. And Śrī Rāma asks, Lakṣmaṇji, do you recognize this? What does Lakṣmaṇji say? I don't know, because I have always been looking at Sitaji's feet. I have never looked past her feet. This was his devotion to Sitaji. Must understand, whenever they walked, Śrī Rāma would walk in front. Sitaji would never step on his footprints. Never. She would always walk away from his footprints. Lakṣmaṇji would never touch the footprints of Sitaji and Ramji. Would never walk on their footprints. They always walked like this, and he always looked at her feet. And he said, don't worry, Śrī Rāma. We will find her. We will definitely find her. So how they find Sitaji, that we will see in the next session. Okay? So, and now, just know that even through Vali, even through Marich, Jatayu and Shabari, all of them felt that the purpose of their life is fulfilled in having the darshan of Bhagavan. That is how everybody wanted to die. Even Maricha. So that is the goal of life. The darshan of Bhagavan. Stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudakshate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo